Welcome to today's deep dive. We have a stack of consumer finance reports and banking breakdowns to look at today.
Yeah, we are looking at a very specific, everyday phenomenon.
Right, you know the scenario. You walk into a store, you see a 60,000 rupee fridge, and there is this bright flashing sign that says zero interest on your monthly installments.
It feels like a financial hack, right? Like you somehow beat the system.
Exactly. Okay, let's unpack this because, well, economics rarely allows a free lunch.
Never does, really.
Right. So our mission today is to neutrally decode the math, the mechanics, and the psychology behind these no-cost EMI offers.
Because the financial ecosystem has to maintain profitability, right? They aren't just giving money away for free.
Exactly. So how are they doing it?
What is fascinating here is that the interest hasn't vanished at all. I mean, it has just been reframed. The cost is actually redistributed among you, the consumer, the merchant, and the bank.
Okay, so to understand how this cost is redistributed, we need to look at the actual numbers. Is this basically like a free shipping offer?
How do you mean?
Like where the shipping cost isn't actually free, it's just quietly baked into the base price of whatever you're buying?
Yes, exactly. The underlying mechanism making that happen is called interest subvention. Basically, the bank still wants to be paid for lending you the money.
Makes sense.
So the merchant takes a cut on their own profit margin and pays that interest to the bank upfront on your behalf.
Wait, hold on. If the merchant is paying the interest for me, why do I end up footing the bill?
Well, let's walk through the 100,000 rupee purchase example from our sources.
Okay, let's hear it.
First, you often lose out on the upfront cash discount. Say that same item would be 95,000 rupees if you paid cash.
Oh, I see. Right there you have an effective 5,000 rupee hidden interest embedded in the higher sticker price.
Exactly, simply because you chose the installment plan. And you also pay processing fees, which are usually around 3,000 to 5,000 rupees.
Right, so you're paying the absolute maximum retail price.
Yeah, and it goes deeper. Even though the marketing explicitly says zero interest, banking regulations often require an internal interest rate to be calculated anyway.
Wait, really? Why?
It is just how the regulations work for loans, and then the bank levies a standard GST on that internal interest amount.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that adds roughly another 5,000 rupees to the transaction. Plus, by choosing the installment route, you usually forego standard credit card cashbacks.
Which our sources note is about 1,500 rupees in lost value.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Wait, so I'm losing 1,500 in cash back, losing a 5,000 rupee cash discount, plus paying 5,000 in GST and processing fees.
Yes, the numbers add up fast.
Suddenly my free loan is costing me over 10%. It is like going to a restaurant where kids eat free, but you suddenly notice the adult entrees are way more expensive than usual.
That is exactly how the money moves. The merchant is subsidizing the free part by shifting the weight onto the base price, which brings us to the macro level.
Right, if merchants sacrifice margins and consumers eat these hidden fees, why are these deals literally everywhere?
It comes down to psychology and sheer volume. Humans are wired to feel the pain of paying, right? Parting with a massive lump sum just hurts.
Oh, totally. Breaking a 30,000 rupee phone into 5,000 rupee chunks completely removes that friction.
Exactly. It funds instant gratification without the immediate sticker shock. And the macro numbers show how powerful that psychological shift is.
Because consumer durable lending in India has absolutely exploded, right?
Well, massively. We're looking at a jump from 30 billion rupees in 2015 to a projected 200 plus billion by 2027.
Wow, that is a 6 to 7 times expansion.
Yeah. The sheer increase in consumption is fueling the ubiquity of these no-cost EMIs and vice versa.
That is a massive volume of goods moving off shelves.
But it's not just volume. The type of consumption has fundamentally changed too.
How so?
Back in 2015, about 75% of these purchases were for absolute necessities. Think basic washing machines or refrigerators.
Okay, and now?
By 2024, driven heavily by no-cost EMIs making expensive items feel accessible, over 50% are now aspirational purchases. We are talking lifestyle upgrades and high-end gadgets.
People aren't just changing how they pay, the financing is changing what they believe they can afford. So what does this all mean for your wallet?
Well, like we said, our goal is to be neutral here. No-cost EMIs aren't inherently bad or good.
Right. Paying upfront is definitely the cleanest option, but standard EMIs and no-cost EMIs are simply financial tools.
Exactly. They make perfect sense for managing your cash flow as long as you understand those hidden adjustments we just unpacked.
Yeah, the only real danger is behavioral. The risk happens when the sheer convenience tricks you into over-leveraging yourself.
Or stacking multiple monthly payments until your future income is entirely spoken for.
Right. Which brings us back to that 60,000 rupee fridge. The interest didn't disappear, it just put on a disguise.
It always does.
So we will leave you with the ultimate litmus test from our sources to mull over. The next time you see a no-cost EMI offer, ask yourself, would you still buy this if you had to pay the full amount today?
That is the real question.
Because ultimately you have to wonder, is the most profitable product the store selling the appliance, or is it the financing?
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.